want to go back home.
All right,
Oh,
so
he wants to go
Johnny
back.
Somali is panicking because behind closed doors in his not so secret Discord, he claims he's not going to do a single day in prison.
Right. Ridiculous. My lawyer is laughing. Some idiots post something in my VC chat. Now I'm going to prison. So he's talking about, I believe, the images. Now he rebroadcasted those. That's the important part. Good luck. I'm a United States citizen. Being a United States citizen does not give you license to commit crimes in other countries. Americans have been executed abroad for just drugs in Asian countries. The Asian countries are very serious about drugs in particular. And Johnny is not winning any favors, and the embassy's not helping him. They've already contacted the embassy. They said they're not going to help. They've already contacted Marco Rubio to say, he's wearing a Trump hat. You got to save him. It's not going to happen. He's going to take his licks. Now, I think that the most likely is definitely like a big fine and deportation. And he's already spent 6 months, or I think longer, right? No, it's has he been in Korea for over a year? Johnny claims that he was in January, but I don't know if it's been that long. But he's been in Korea for a long time, and that's his early life. Like, if you're like 40 years old or something, and you spend a year in a country, that's like not that much of a big deal. If you're 25, or you're like a young 20s or something, and you spend a year in another country where you can't work, you can't develop your social skills, your business skills, or even your any earning potential, that's a big portion of your life, your early life, that you're never getting back. But let's continue.
Because he's a U.S. citizen, but
not gonna
deep
happen.
down, he knows that he's screwed. He tried to talk to the embassy, it didn't work. And now he's going with another strategy, which is the bipolar defense. Basically, he's laying down the groundwork to try to get away from these charges by pleading mental illness.
Now, this is a really weird thing for Johnny to say on stream, because in previous streams, he's actually already talked about how he's going to try and plead mental illness to get out of this. It's not going to work, especially when you broadcast all this. The Koreans are paying attention. They are watching this. This is going to be added. Well, I mean, the prosecutor's going to see this. The judge is likely tuned into this. He seems like he's a pretty sharp guy. If you claim you're going to use mental illness or bipolar as an excuse, and then you go and do it, that's premeditation. They know that you're doing it. It's just ridiculous. He thinks he can get away with it. Which makes it very funny that he's going through with this and streaming his own interviews, because he's giving away his strategy. Now, this Alex Novell guy, he's a bit of a snake, in my opinion. He's like, I talked to him on Twitter a little bit after I said that he had the smoothest brain takes in his interview, and I stand by that statement. And he was like, have you seen my other documentary? And I was like, well, not yet, but I'll go check it out. So I did watch it. I watched his Mr. Bass documentary, and he did do similar things. He likes to buddy up. He glazes people. He gets into them. He gets them to say weird stuff. But I don't think he's actually very good at making a proper documentary. Now, don't get me wrong. I think Alex Novell's very good at editing, and I think that his video was very entertaining. And of course, by injecting himself into the drama, when he got attacked by Mr. Bass, now he's got a permanent scar on his face because of that, because Mr. Bass hit him in the head with a selfie stick. It's good reality television. You know, it's good entertainment. It's like the real world MTV tier stuff. And don't get me wrong, it's very entertaining. But for a documentary, which typically has like a more informational point of view, I think that Turkey's Tom breakdown of his space was a lot more succinct and a lot more well-researched. But I'm going to review Alex Novell's Johnny Somali short film documentary, whatever he wants to call it, when it comes out. And we're going to go through and see how honest he is, because it sounds like he is actually a bit of a Johnny Somali fan. Now, of course, I think he's been trying to hint to people that he's actually not that stupid, but you never know. You never know. He also seems like he's a little bit upset that people aren't taking him more seriously because he was seething, and he kind of embarrassed himself a lot on Twitter with exposing Andrew's DMs. Now, this may be because he's trying to make himself look stupider so that he can relate better to Hank and Johnny Somali. We don't know. We don't know. We'll have to wait and see what happens.
He's trying to convince the court that he is not fit to stand trial. And that's why he's doing these interviews. He appears very sober, very normal during these interviews, and it's a contrast to his insane crash outs. This morning, he had a very long interview with Hank and Alex Novell. I chopped down the interview to under 20 minutes. That way, it's more digestible for you guys, because you don't want to listen to this guy talk for too long. But without...
Now, this is true. It's pretty hard to get through this video, but 50 Minutes of Shame does a really good job getting things down to 20 minutes, 15 minutes, but he does leave out some important things, which I want to talk about later. But like I said, I need to go back and clip it myself and then kind of organize my thoughts a bit.
Further ado, let's get started.
Johnny, do you think that you can take to prevent this kind of stuff from happening?
I think I need to stop drinking alcohol. I think I need to slow down my alcohol intake. I feel like that I already have a problem with impulse control because I've been diagnosed with bipolar. So I feel like when you're drinking alcohol, that's like, or taking any kind of stimulant, that's really going to be impulse control.
Well, first of all, Johnny should not be taking any stimulants whatsoever because those are illegal in Korea. Second of all, saying you're drunk is not a defense for crimes. If you get drunk and drive and get behind a wheel, drive someone over, you can't say, well, my driving was impaired because I was drunk. You made the decision to come to Korea with the express purpose of harassing people to get attention and to get money. And then you willfully chose to drink so that you could, maybe loosen up and be more entertaining and get a bit crazy. And also because you were being paid to drink in some of these shots, like the fire sale shots, like $3 shots, which is insane, actually. It's really quite bad for you to do that. But that's not going to be an excuse. And I don't think the Koreans are going to buy this bipolar defense.
As well, I need to work on abusing substances. I need to go back home and go get on some kind of like medication, and I need to go to therapy. I need to be.
This is the bargaining, remember? He's in the stages of Greece bargaining. He's struggled to find ways to escape from this. He's saying, look, okay, I did something bad, but it's not my fault. If I go back to America, I promise I'll do therapy. I promise I'll get on antidepressants. I promise I'll go to a psychiatrist. No, he's not going to do this. If he gets out of Korea, he's going to go right back to nuisance streaming in another country. We know this because he's already done it once. When he was in Japan for like 6 months or something, went back, immediately started nuisance streaming again. So he doesn't learn from his mistakes. This is the only time he might actually be held accountable. Now, while I think that the things that Johnny Somali has committed in isolation are not worthy of prison time, like he did harass an old woman, obstruction of business, public obscenity, like all these things. There's a multitude of things. We might go through them later. While I think individually, if a regular tourist committed those crimes, I don't think they'd be worthy of jail time. Because Johnny Somali is specifically going out committing these for money, if they give him a fine, which would be the regular and I think appropriate penalty for this sort of crime, it's not really a penalty at all. It's a business expense. If he's making, and by Johnny's words, he said he was making $1,000 a day in super chats, nuisance streaming in Japan, and he was there for 30 days, $30,000, as well as a $10,000 kick deal. If you get paid $40,000 a month for making people's lives miserable who are just trying to do their jobs, or they're just like old people, or just like people that are trying to be friendly, and you're taking advantage of them. If you get fined $10,000, that's not a fine. That's not a penalty. That's a business expense. This is why Johnny needs to have a penalty that is appropriate to what he's actually doing. And it seems like jail time is the only thing he's going to understand, because all he's thinking about is those dollar bills after he gets out of Korea and can go back to full-time streaming.
Able to be properly medicated so I'm not so impulsive and not care about my life. I feel like
medication from a neurologist, not a psychiatrist.
Now, Hank thinks he's like a big brain. He's like, I think that I've heard that Hank was he's like the grandson or the son of a very famous prosecutor in South Korea. So he tries to do a lot of, he tries to pretend and role play as a lawyer, and he thinks that he's very smart, but every time he's tried anything, he's just been totally felted. So he's trying to correct him and be like the expert here. Not going to work. I don't think it's going to work, Hank.
Just whatever can, I don't know, because I have my highs are super duper high. When I go mania and manic, I'm super, like, I don't care about anything.
Exactly.
In my life. I feel like I have a God complex.
There's a brain.
I feel like nobody can punish me. I can do whatever I want.
There's a brain chemical imbalance. You gotta go see.
No, it's not. Johnny has shown that he is, like, people criticize me when I said that Johnny was intelligent because he had a finance degree. I don't mean he's a super smart boy. I mean that he's not like a, I have to be careful with what I say here. He is not someone like World of T-Shirts. World of T-Shirts does not quite understand what he's doing. He is a real case of someone that has mental difficulty and is being abused by people like Mr. Based and the people that watch him. But again, World of T-Shirts does hold accountability for his actions. But he has a very real psychological condition and impairment. Johnny Somali has shown through both his studies and when he's doing these interviews, his presence of mind, that he understands what he's doing wrong, and he understands that if he causes trouble, he can profit from it. He's in full knowledge and in full control of his faculties while he does these acts, which means that it's not because of the alcohol. It's not because of bipolar. It's not because he's on stimulants. It's because he knows he can make money if he harasses people that don't deserve it.